Hello, welcome to the sixth part in this series on how to build your very own basic interpreter in Python. So this video will implement the very last but not least, the GOTO statement, the almighty GOTO. So we're not having for loops or while loops, or we don't have like function calls, but with this GOTO you can do all that range of things. So you can like sort of mimic loops, and even if you implement stack, you can even use it as a sort of a function call. You just need to keep track of the starting address where you've considered GOTO. Well, that's a completely different topic, and this is not going to be covered within this tutorial at very least. So just to give you an idea that GOTO is a very important, a very rare but very important statement. And again, like in old school assembly, there is no such a thing as loops. So there is just a jump instruction. So the jump might be either unconditional, which is treated as sort of GOTO equals jump, that's sort of a similar thing, or this might be conditional, and that's how the if statements has been bound within the higher level languages. Yeah, but enough lyrics, and without further ado, let's actually get started. So I want to open my basic Py file, and here within the execute I want to add one more condition. So if token is equal to GOTO, I want to execute the GOTO statement and send the line as an argument. Okay, so right below the print statement, I want to say def GOTO statement takes the line. Now, while the GOTO execution on its own is very simple, we'll also need to provide some, well, I call it the run routine, because that's the matter of the control flow. So where exactly, well, there is no such a thing as an instruction pointer here, but let's say the current line to execute. So we'll need to handle those things properly. But first, let's just implement the GOTO statement thing, and then I'll explain how the run and how the entire runtime is going to be working. So we'll be using the global variables. We didn't yet define them, but we will do just in a moment. So the line number and the GOTO variable. Now let's say line equals to character for character in, and I want to join the line, and I want to replace white spaces with nothing, right? Then want to scan through and to get the very next token, and after this the line number is going to be equal to want to calculate whatever is available within the line, because we can say GOTO and then expression, for instance. So the next line to be executed might be calculated as expression. That's quite a powerful feature, by the way, right? And finally, I just want to say GOTO variable is equal to true, and we are done with this one. Now the entire runtime. So I say def run, and this is going to be empty. Yeah, and before I forgot, so we need to define line number is equal to 0, GOTO is equal to false, and also we want to create a buffer. So this is the dictionary, so this data structure would hold all the lines for our source code. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, now the run. So again, making use of the global variables like the line number and the GOTO. Okay. Now the mechanism is quite interesting. So we're supposed to be using the built-in Python iterator to iterate over the lines within the buffer. So just to give you an idea how the source code is going to be represented. So for instance, we can say 10, and then the line, say print and count program, okay, and then we can say 20, want to say let count equals to 0, right? then 30, want to say print, and I want to print count, and whatever value count variable is holding there, and then want to say let count equals count plus 1, so increment count by 1. Then 50, I want to say if count is less than 10, then go to, important thing here, so go to, and we want to go to the line number 30, right? Yeah, to the line number 30, go to 30, right? Great. And finally, let's say 60, print all done. Okay, so this is the program we're supposed to be executing. So well, let's say my cursor is representing the like runtime or the execution flow. So here we start execution with this line number 10, then we will call the iterator, so to iterate to the next element within the buffer. So executed this line, then executed this line, okay, executed this line, executed this line. Now if count is less than 10, is count is less than 10? Well, not really. It was the first iteration was equal to 0. After line 40 it's now equal to 1. So count is less than 10, and this expression is evaluated to true. Then this comes under this stage, so we need to go back to line 30 here and continue execution from here. So now we print the count again and then increment by 1, and now count is equal to 2. It's less than 10, so again we go to line 30, and up until the count is equal to 10, right? So after this, count is equal to 10, 10 is not less than 10, and then we go further on and we print all done. So how to handle this sort of management of the current line to execute? So that's what the entire run function is going to be all about. So comma here, obviously. Right, so for this reason I create the line iterator. Line iterator is equal to iterate and the buffer. Remember, buffer is the dictionary, that's important. And I say go to equals to false, right? Now, while true, we want to try, and we try the following things, and just make some space here. So if go to equals to false, this means that there was no go to statement being executed recently. In this case, the line number is going to be equal to, and I'm iterating to the next line. So next line iterator. So after this line has been executed, so before it, the line iterator was equal to the first line, which is 10, and after it's executed, the line number is going to be equal to 20, and that's the exact line we're supposed to be executing within the buffer. So hopefully that makes sense. Right? What else can happen here? Otherwise, if goTo is actually equals to true, so this means that the goTo instruction has occurred. So first we need to say goTo equals to false, so that the next iteration it just sort of restores the execution from the line. But the idea is that we need to calculate the line to restart the iteration over the lines from. So that's the logic to implement at the moment. So here I want to say current iterator is equal to, again, iterate the buffer, right? And also the current line is equal to next and the current iterator. And now the interesting part, so I can say while the line number is not equal to the current line. So essentially what we are doing here, we need to make sure that we do iterate over the lines within the buffer, starting from the very first line available, no matter what the number it is. It doesn't start from 0, it starts from 10, say. So we iterate in like 10, then 20, then 30, and let's say we went by the GOTO, we went to line 30. So once the current line within the iterator is going to be equal to 30, that's the line to resume the execution from. So this condition is satisfied, and in this case, again, we say the current line is equal to the next and the current iterator. So this might not happen from the first time, but once we are done, we can say that the line iterator would from now on be equal to the current iterator, and this ensures that the execution is going to be resumed from the exact line GOTO function has brought us to. Yeah, and now finally, we initialize the line equal to buffer indexed by the line number, because we didn't yet execute the line where the GOTO has brought us already, and we want to execute, and this time the line number and the line itself, and that's it. And in case if we are running out of lines, there would be an exception, so in this case we just break out of the loop. Yeah, so now let's try to run the program we've manually added here to the buffer. Right, so, and I'm going down below. We don't actually need all of this stuff anymore, so just get rid of this, and I simply say run, and I hold my breath, and I say Python 3 and basic.py. Okay, unexpected indentation, line 32, 32, okay. Okay, I got a little typo in line 61, so join should be obviously like this, because this is a string, otherwise it just goes to some weird stuff there. Yeah, and I did a whole run, I just sent this as a string, obviously it didn't work. So right, quit, and let's try again, and yeah, all done. Now our count program has been executed successfully. At this point, our basic interpreter is at the state like a minimal viable product, I would say, but it's not yet that usable. So to make it a little bit more sort of old school, I would like to add the line editor so that user can say like 10, print, hello world, and so on. Press enter, the line gets appended to the buffer, and then if it prints like the number of the line and nothing follows, then the line gets cleared, or the number, the line number and some different statement or expression or whatever, so that it gets replaced. So literally the editing capabilities should have been added, and also we need to make sure that user can save his work or load the work from the file, so either that program that he has created on his very own or some program created by someone else. But that's going to be the topic of the next video. Now that being said, this is it from my side. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.